Hello and welcome to the Creabea Knitting Podcast. Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm a knitter and knitting pattern designer based in Edinburgh, and this is a vlog or a podcast all about knitting, what I'm currently knitting on, what I've been knitting on, and what I'd like to cast on in the not too distant future. And I'm pretty sure this is my last podcast of the year, but I've got plenty to talk about. I mentioned in previous episodes that I'm currently working on a book, which is very exciting, but all the patterns for the book are top secret. So I've been staggering how long I've been taking between podcasts to film, and it has been about a month. So I've got a stack of finished objects, I've got a couple of works in progress, I've got some acquisitions, I've got a pattern launch, I've got a little bit of everything to talk about today. I've got a little cup of tea ready to go, and I'm excited. And I'm wearing something fun, but I'll get into that in a minute because I want to start with my pattern release. So it is the last pattern release of the year, and it's a little delayed. It was going to come out last month, but I needed a little bit more time, and that is because it's not one but 4 patterns, although they are 4 teeny tiny little patterns. I'm releasing a batch of kids patterns. Now they're all available now, they're on Ravelry, my website. There's also a bundle. I asked on Instagram what people would most like do you want all 4 together, do you want like a deal, and I think the general take was like some kind of bundle offering. So down below there is a discount code where you can, if you buy 2 you get a third free, and if you buy 3 you get a fourth free. Just a heads up. So let me talk about them all. They are all mini versions of existing patterns that I own, which I just think is the cutest and funnest thing ever. We'll start here. This is a mini, they run from 6 months to 10 years, and all of my samples are in the 6-month size. This is the Staffin. This is in Cascade Superwash, and it is so cute. It's so tiny. It is the raglan sweater version of the raglan sweater adult pattern. Then we have the mini, that's back to front, the mini stick season. I love this one so much. Right in the beginning, one of my stick season testers made a kids version, and I think that was the reason I wanted to do kids patterns, because of how unbelievably cute that was. Third up is the KNTRA. Now I will say we changed the pattern after me finishing the sample, just to rejig the sleeve to body numbers. So the sleeves look a little wide here. They are fixed for the final pattern. Perfect for little scraps. The first 2 are both DK, so these are both 20 stitch gauges. The next 2 are both 4 ply, just so you can fit enough colours in and have enough sizes. So there's a baby KNTRA, and I think this is my favourite. So cute. A little teeny tiny lauder with teeny tiny cables. Oh, so cute. I will tell you, I'm not a particularly broody person, but there's something about teeny tiny baby knits. Just if you think of babies. So there we go. They're all there. So if you are someone who likes to go matchy or knit a little set, or just want some fun kids patterns, these are all available now. They're on Ravelry and my website, and there's a little bundle offering. So I will pop that all down below. And then my pattern launch. And that is the last one of 2026. I wasn't really feeling very reflective and thoughtful about anything until this week, and it's hit me it's coming to the end of the year and 2 weeks left, and I feel a bit reflective. I don't know why. I guess everyone is a bit this time of year. So that's my final pattern of the year. Kids, Staffin, Stick Season, KNTRA and Lauder are now available, and I think next year I'll probably try and do another 4, and we'll just work through them until I have as many of them available on both as possible. The other one thing I wanted to say is that 2 weeks ago I put up a video and shared about my KNTRA accessories, all of which I've put away and I have no idea where any of them are. But my last pattern that came out was my charity pattern of the year. It is a bag, a hot water bottle cover and a scarf, and all of the proceeds from those patterns until the end of the year are going to the Fistula Foundation. And I calculated it before I came on. I think it is over, I know it's over £8,000 raised. It is £8,280 raised so far. And I'll be matching the first 5k of that, so that is already there'll be over £13,000 donated, which I'm very excited about. So if you missed that, I'll also put the information down below, and all the proceeds from that will go to charity. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling so good about the fact that last pattern of the year, have a little break. Not really, the next one comes out the first week of January, so it's not really a break, it's 3 weeks, but a little break. And charity patterns going well. I'm feeling happy. So let me talk about what I'm wearing. This is something I just whipped up. It's funny. Anyway, I'll talk about that in a second. So this is my fun little sweater that I whipped up. It is my bow sweater. I've not got a name for it. It's not going to be called the bow sweater. It's just what I'm calling it right now. I, just like everyone else, I think I've been transfixed by the bows this year. I think bows are always kind of festive, but they really seem to be everywhere this year. And I decided like mid-November that I felt like casting on a sweater with bows on it, and so I did. And this is it. It's knit in Santa's Garden Pure Gynt held with a strand of mohair in... Actually, is that true? I think the red is actually, it's not Santa's Garden Pure Gynt. It is Knitting for Olive merino in the colour Red Currant, held with Santa's Garden merino mohair in the dark red. It's given it a really lovely colour. I felt like the Red Currant was almost a little variegated. You can kind of see that the mohair, there we go, it's a little darker. I kind of felt like the Red Currant mohair was too bright. Like it was giving like clown nose rather than like cranberry. And I feel like with the dark red it really tilted it more towards cranberry. A few things. One, I've not quite got my numbers right for the top of the yoke. So it's kind of relaxed a little bit, but you can see there's like a fold coming here. That's just, I think that will steam out now. It's just I've worn it a couple of days, but it's just because I haven't quite got quite enough space for the top of my shoulders. It's a pretty common round yoke mistake, and I really thought I'd fixed it, but I absolutely have not fixed it. I did do what I like to do, which is do a raglan under the arm, so I do feel like the sweater in general fits very well, and I think unless you're a knitter you would never really notice this part, but I notice it and it is annoying me. And I think just the way it's been lying, I've ended up with a fold here, but this will steam out, this little line. But yeah, it's just not quite perfect, and that's okay. It's allowed to be perfect. It's just my own version. My current plan for this is I thought it would be really fun next year to release this and to add a variety of different motifs. What I like about this is that it's like a little bit festive without being very over the top festive, and so I like the bows for that reason, but I thought I could try Christmas lights and some mistletoe and maybe like a little truck with a Christmas tree and maybe some stars or some Christmas baubles. Someone also suggested a menorah, so it includes like more than just the Christmas. So it's kind of going on ice for now, like I'm not going to think too much about it, but I thought that would be fun to bring back next year. And for now I've just got a fun little Christmas sweater to wear this year, and I've been wearing it a lot, and I'll be wearing it, I've worn it like, I think I must have finished it like a week and a half, maybe 10 days ago, and I think I've worn it 4 times since. And I'll be wearing it on Christmas Day, which I'm quite excited about. So and while we're on the topic of bows, let me just continue with my bows. So this is a 22 stitch gauge, just a round yoke sweater. Nothing too fancy about it with the bows. And to think of a fun name, which is like holiday but like inclusive. Like the festive sweater just sounds a bit boring. Something a bit more interesting than that. And whilst I was working on this, oh, this smells like my sister. Whilst I was working on this, I just had bows on the mind, and I was on the fence about what to do with my bows, and I decided to also jazz things up and do a different bow sweater whilst I was at it. So this, you might have seen before, this is a sweater I knit so long ago. It's kind of an early Tolsta, but like not really. It's a really chunky, I think it's like a 15 stitch gauge, and it is knit in definitely drops Lima, possibly drops mohair, definitely some kind of mohair. I'm trying to think that at the time that I knit this, it was relatively early in my like serious knitting journey. It's not that early. I was definitely early podcasting. I filmed it whilst living in Edinburgh. I remember distinctly walking to knit night wearing this, and it was far too warm to be wearing it, so I spent the whole walk sweating. But this is now the 3rd time this sweater has been like bedazzled, jazzed up, embellished. There we go. So let me just show you it. Isn't it so cute? So it's just a plain white sweater, and I have done 3 things. The first time I did it, I added like little sparkles all across the yoke. The second time I did it, I did love hearts for Valentine's Day, and then this is the 3rd one. I did this little bow. So I think it's really fun. I've seen quite a lot of like ready to wear sweaters like this, so I like the idea of just doing the same thing, and it's all done in duplicate stitch. So this only took me like a long Christmas movie's worth, and I used the same weight of yarn as the base. So the base was in drops Lima and mohair, and I used I think, Peruvian Highland wool and mohair, and it's the same mohair as this sweater, but you can see it's much darker here because it's the darker red. This chart is available on my website. I just uploaded it because I thought maybe someone else wants to do the same thing. It's completely free. It should just be there. If you go to the website, it'll be like the top thing. I'll put a link to it down below as well. But yeah, it's just like I think it's a PDF or maybe a JPEG, and you can just download this and work through it. If you also want to make a Christmas sweater but you don't want to knit a whole sweater, or yeah. And I find this pulls out quite easily. So like I say, it's the third time I've done it. I find that it just comes out, like I just use a tapestry needle and just like unpull it and use some scissors carefully, and I can get this all back out and it leaves no trace on the sweater. But I'll leave it for a little while. It smells like my sister because she was here last week and she was going on a date. First date with a new person, and this was finished and she was like, can I wear that? And I was like, sure, if you want to. So have I worn this yet? I'm not even sure I've worn this yet. But she did wear it last week. It smells very strongly. I don't really wear a whole lot of perfume, so whenever I smell someone else's perfume, I'm like, oh. And whilst we're on the topic of the bows, I thought I'd show you an acquisition which only arrived today. And I had this habit of purchasing project bags the same time as pattern releases. I quite often order myself a project bag on the day of pattern releases. Not like every month, but like every 3 months or something. This one I did not order today. I ordered a few days ago. But I think if you see this sweater and this sweater, it'll be clear to you why I purchased this bag. It's so cute. It is from Elizabeth Scarlett. They definitely do PR, like they send people stuff, so maybe I should be like posting about them more than send me stuff, because I have a lot of these bags. This is my third one. Is that right? I think so. I've got a lobster one. I've got a navy blue one with stars. And I've got one. It's called Dazzling Bows, I think. This is their everyday pouch. It's 20 centimeters by 30 centimeters. It's not huge. I think this is like a small project bag. So I would put like 2 skeins in this, or like a sock or something. But I always think it looks really cute. So that arrived today. And I said to Sam, I was like, it's like my year of the bows. And he was like, what do you mean year of the bows? Like, you only started on this like 6 weeks ago. It's not your year of the bows. And I was like, yeah, you're right. It's more like my season of bows. So that is a wrap on my season of the bows. It's so cute. I actually went looking for these pouches to gift someone, and I ended up buying myself one, which is slightly ridiculous, I think. Okay, let's just continue with this finished object fest, because I have so many. I have one more that I finished, and then I've got 2 sample knits, and then I've got literally 1 finished object. So, no, literally 1 work in progress. Okay, so I think I shared my Lynx sweater, which I folded up and put somewhere in my last episode. It's an Argyle sweater. It's gone into test knitting now. It is a sweater, a cardigan, and a vest. The sweater is drop shoulder and the colourwork flat. The cardigan is set in sleeve with a steek, and the vest can be steeked or left whole. Like, you can do either one. So here is my cardigan. I love it so much. In fact, I'm going to wear this today. I'm going out for like a festive night with my mum and my sisters, and I think this is what I'm going to wear. I think I made it a tiny bit too big. This is my only concern, is it is a little bit bigger than I wanted it to be. It's not a maths thing. I'm pretty sure it's a gauge problem. It's not even that much. It's literally, it's just because it's a set in sleeve. I want to get the, wow, that slouch was really not it. Hello. It's not slouch. If I sit further back, I can just sit nicely. There we go. Yeah, I just made it a little bit too big. I think I should have just sized down, or not sized down. I should have, if I knit to gauge, it would be fine. But I'm not sure if it's a blocking issue or what. And usually a few extra centimeters I wouldn't mind so much because it's a sweater, but with a set in sleeve it does make a difference. So I'm a little annoyed at myself. But also I've not tried this on for like 10 days, more than that, like 3 weeks. And I'm now thinking like maybe it's not as bad as I think it is, and it's just in my head. We'll see. I'll try it on tonight and find out. What jeans will I wear it with though? I didn't put my black jeans in the wash. Damn it. Okay. So this is the cardigan version. So it is, I do the buttons up. It's a round neck, but it's also got a V-neck. Forgot about that part. So yeah, it's a sweater. The sweater is just a sweater. And then there's a cardigan and a vest with the same base, like the same block. That's a very sewing word. The same bodice is the same, but then there's a v-neck or a round neck, and then if you want a vest you just do cuffs, and if you want a cardigan you do whole sleeves. So this is it all buttoned up. I love this so much. It is exactly how I want it in my head. I want another one, but I don't know if I have time to knit it, so I think I will be having a second one sample knit because I want another one, and I think I should, for the pictures, have one that fits the way it's meant to fit. Let me talk about this. So yeah, it's set in sleeve, which is a lovely, very classic set in sleeve, like you do underarm shaping, all that jazz. The main yarn has been in my stash for so long. It is a 4-ply Gotland from Fibre, who is a designer who makes YouTube videos, but I don't think it's me making them for a while. I'm not sure about that. Maybe I just have somehow managed to drop off her feed or something. But I used to make a lot, like, I think in my memory, in the summer she does a lot of like photography work and doesn't do a whole lot of knitting, and in the winter she does a lot more knitting, which I guess makes sense, that's very natural. But I don't feel like she's been doing a lot of content this year, but I could have just missed it. But she did a Fibre run a little while back, which was, I believe, yarn from her parents' farm, or like close to where her parents live. They had it spun up, and I bought 4 skeins of it, and it's 4-ply. And when I was going to knit this sweater, I was like, I really want to knit like, I wanted dark grey as the base, and I was a bit like, but is it a bit silly to do a dark grey base? Like, I don't want to go buying extra yarn. I've already got this yarn, I should use the yarn I have, which is exactly what I did. I'm always hesitant to use a yarn which is like unavailable, or you can't quite get your hold of in a design, but I feel like for this, it is just a 4-ply dark grey yarn. You could easily use it for something else, and every other sample is the same gauge, so I should have a variety of yarn still. The main colour is Tynn Pure Gynt and merino, and mohair, I keep doing that, and mohair, both in the colour deep red, and the mohair from this is the same mohair that's in this sweater. There we go. It's got a really, like, I love this, it's got this very like narrow button band, which I really love, and tiny little buttons. Oh, I'm going to make a beige version with grey. I'm already deciding. As I'm sitting here, I'm already deciding on this. I'm going to cast it on soon. I don't even have the yarn actually. I definitely have 4-ply yarn in white. I have to go looking for it. I should do the vest next, to be fair. I should cast on the vest next because I don't have any vest sample. My current situation is that I'm working on one project for myself that is not a book project, or like one non-book project at a time, just to keep things interesting, but also I'm not allowing myself to go a little bit too nuts, and I can't cast on a project that's not a book project until I've finished the other single project, which currently is a pair of Christmas socks for a recipient, which we'll get into in a minute. But I've not even got the first sock finished, so that will be good motivation to finish the first sock so that I can cast on my own project. Oh, I love it so much. It just looks so cool. And then, so I've done steeking before, but I've never had a that's not even true. I've never done a pattern with steeking. I have actually. I've got a pattern in the Journal of Scottish Yarns, which has a little bit of steeking, but it's not quite in the, like, it is steeking, but it feels different because it's not a button band or sleeves, it's just for the shoulder seam. And for this I wanted a really clean finish, so I sewed some ribbon down on the ends. Look how neat that looks. So both sides I sewed this like very pretty dark red purpley coloured ribbon, and it's also been quite nice because it makes the whole thing, like the whole steek is hidden in there, so you really can't see any loose edges, and it's added a nice bit of structure to the button band, which I enjoy. I do think my buttonholes are too big for my buttons though. I don't really undo buttons. I don't know if anyone else does this. I honestly should just start putting full button bands on things because I don't actually ever really unbutton my cardigans. I pretty much always, I do the top like 2 buttons though, to be fair, but the body I never undo. There we go. Okay, I'm going to put this aside so I can wear this tonight, or at least try it on and decide if I want to wear it. But that is the Lynx cardigan. Currently in testing. The sweater knitters are flying. I think a lot of them are already joining the round. Cardigan people, the cardigans are a little slower, but that's okay. It's interesting actually that that's how that's worked out. Maybe the cardigan people are just not sharing pictures. So I've got the yarn for the vest. The vest I'm going to do unsteeked, so I'm going to keep the vest whole. But when I say I have the yarn, I actually don't have the yarn. I thought I had the yarn. Let me explain. I'm going to use Filcolana Arvetta. I would not use this for steeking because it's superwash, but I will use it for the vest version. So this is the main colour. It is, I believe, Dijon. Dijon? Colour 352, that's not very helpful. Maybe it's not Dijon. Maybe like red sienna or something. It's a very beautiful, like rich caramel colour. I like it a lot. Behind the camera, my Creole cardigan is there, and I'm thinking, what mohair did I use for that? That's the colour that I want. So I ordered mohair, and this is the colour I ordered, and I thought online it matched quite well, but in actual fact it's a lot more red, and I don't think I like it. I really want this like golden hue. And then I had this in stash, which is closer, but again it's more yellow. So what I really want is a mohair to match. So I was going to post on Instagram and ask for some suggestions, and if anyone's got a good mohair match for this. The Filcolana don't make a matching mohair. And then my contrast will be white, and that I do have the mohair for. So I need to get that ordered. I think I'm already past the Christmas shipping dates for a lot of places, but I do have faith in knit.co.uk for getting things out pretty quickly. So possibly, how many days is till Christmas? 6 days. I reckon if I order some yarn today, that'll come by Christmas. Not that I need it. I'm sitting in a room right now with probably like, with many hundreds of skeins of yarn, probably. Just, yeah, hundreds, definitely. I probably have something in my stash that fits. Not the mohair though. I looked for the mohair and I couldn't find it. And then I think I'd like a cardigan in like a white with that dark grey. I'd like to use the same grey, I think. But then white, what do I wear underneath it? I really struggle with colours for this one. I also have some for a green. But is that also superwash? I don't know. Because of the book, there's been so much yarn coming into this house that I've lost a little bit of a sense of reality around my yarn. And honestly around life, but around my yarn particularly. Usually I've got a pretty strong grasp of what's in and what's out and what's here and what's there. And right now I really don't know. It's okay. Okay. Those are all my personally knit finished objects, but I do have 2 more to talk about because I'm having a reasonable amount of sample knit at the moment. As I mentioned, I have a book coming out. It's coming out in November of 2026. It is with Line magazine. It is 18 patterns, 12 garments and 6 accessories, and they all have to be ready for photos at the beginning of April. I have 3 done. I must have 4 done. I've got 4 done. Okay, 3.5 because 1 had pockets and I didn't like the pockets, so I took the pockets off and I had to reknit the pockets. So it's not quite done, but it's 3 fully done, 1 almost done, and 5 currently on my needles. 1 of which I think I'll finish tomorrow. But it just means my needles are very busy right now, and I like to still make second samples of projects, particularly when there are multiple variations. I like to show those variations. So I have a handful of sample knitters who are being delightful and working away on some second samples for me. Paid, they get paid to do that. That is a paid thing, a paid service. I thought that was a bug, but it's a piece of fluff. Thank goodness. And so yeah, the way I'm currently looking at it is like I'm making all my first samples by myself because I think it's the correct thing to do. And then, for example, Ariando is a pattern coming out in February. That's for the sample knitter right now. There are a couple of book patterns that I'm having a second sample knit because I would like to see that. Lanark Stockinette is where it was a sample knitter. So I think I have like 4 or 5 samples currently being sample knit. And I've had 2 sample, well, no, I've had 1 sample knit and I've borrowed someone else's sweater for this one. So I've shared this a lot of times. This is the Insh sweater. It is the first pattern coming out next year. It has been folded up and not looked at for a while, so apologies if it's a little, it's got like fold lines. It is a saddle shoulder Henley. This one still does not have buttons and I still haven't worked out what to do with the collar, so this needs a bit of thought. At this point I'm thinking I'm going to leave the collar because I can't decide what to do about it, so I might just put some buttons on and decide after the pictures. It's got like this high collar and it's got this beautiful saddle shoulder. And I really said like let's just make life hard with this one because I also think I want to turn this one into a double collar. So sorry, take a step back. It is a saddle shoulder sweater. It comes in men's fit and women's fit, like a masculine and a feminine. So that means that one version has been graded against a men's standard sizing chart and one has been graded against a women's standard sizing chart. It comes in all over half fisherman's rib and all over stockinette. It has a Henley collar and it has a round neck collar, and the Henley collar can be a high neck or a low neck. I did this to myself, so it's okay. And actually it's pretty cool. It's just that I was kind of on track with everything and then got book news, and now I'm thinking I have to make sure I have samples for all of these, and that is actually a lot of samples. But I've actually, in front of me in this little stack in front of in my arms is one of everything. So I'm good. I have another one on my needles, but I don't think it's going to make it to finished in time, and that's okay because I've got another version of that one here from a sample to. So here is version 1. It is high neck Henley, and the Henley collar is just this like little open, like that's what it is. It's sort of like this like V-neck with the thing. That's my Henley collar. Women's grading, women's size strap. Then we've got this one, which is low neck Henley, and I added stripes, and I love this one so much. I think I want to double the collar up though. I think just because I've been seeing testers do that and it looks so good. But doubling the collar up does mean I have to reknit the entire button band. But I also forgot to put buttons on it the first time, so maybe that's just me doing what I need to do. We will see. I've not tried these on in months. Then I had one sample knit. I think there is a very, very almost non-existent possibility that my stepdad is watching this video. If you're watching this video, don't look because this is for you. Then this is the men's fit one. This is sample knit and it is beautiful. I will say my sample knitter knit it perfectly to pattern. I think I'm going to add some length to it, and that is a me problem and not a sample knitter problem. Particularly because she's done the most incredible sewn bind off, and I feel bad that that's going to have to get taken off, but I think it's going to be too short for him. But again, that's a me problem because I should have measured that beforehand and I did not do it. Oh, it's so good. I think this is just like such a classic, like good well-fitting men's sweater. With the Henley, not with the Henley, with the round neck, stockinette. And I knit this one, or I did not knit this one. The yarn for this one is Purl Soho knitting wool, which is like a 200 meters per 100 grams yarn. It's very similar to a Cascade 220 or a Knit Picks with the Andes or a Peruvian Highland wool from Filcolana. They're all in my head pretty interchangeable. It's glorious. It's got a really nice like heathering to this green. And then my fourth one. I have a wonderful knitting friend called Yenny. Yenny has been in so many of my pattern pictures. She was in the very first one. She's on the Cargill pattern, and she's been in, I think, 15 cents or something. Yenny is a test knitter for this pattern, and the pattern comes out in January. Yenny is travelling over the festive period, and so will not be back. I think she leaves tomorrow and is not back in Edinburgh until mid-January. The pattern comes out January 9th, so she will not be in the pattern pictures. However, she is knitting a round neck half fisherman's rib version, and that is the one sample I was missing. And if anyone's knit half fisherman's rib before, you might be aware that half fisherman's rib isn't the fastest stitch. So like I probably in dire straits I could have whipped, I was planning to knit, maybe consider knitting a second one of this. I could have whipped that up in whatever it is, 10 days. No, it's like a month away, but still, no, it's not. It's less than that. It's a month minus 10 days, 20 days, 21 days, 3 weeks away. But Yenny was knitting, I think, either the same size as mine or like one size difference. And I'd said to her, like, do you think you're gonna have it finished before you go? And if you are gonna have it finished before you go, can I borrow it? Like, can I just have it and give it back to you in January? And poor Yenny, I think, it's not been blocked because she literally finished weaving in the ends yesterday morning and then handed it off to me at the pub last night. I went to meet her to pick this up. It's stunning. I tried it on last night. It's not been blocked. It's so good. Oh, have I put, oh, like a long stitch here. Is this the inside or the outside? The inside. There's like a funny, I don't know if it's just the yarn's caught or, yeah, the yarn's just a bit caught. Never mind. I'll tuck that back in a second. Maybe it's I think it might be a split slice. It's just split splice. It's just a little bit. So this version is the Henley round neck. No, Henley round neck. What nonsense am I speaking? This is the half fisherman's rib round neck. It looks so good. I tried this on last night and I was like, so I think next I'll be making myself one of these hands down because I absolutely love it. I think I like this more than I like the Henley, which I was surprised at. So yeah. Oh, it's so good. And I am going to get the yarn for this wrong. Maybe BC yarn? We literally had a conversation about this yarn on Monday and I've forgotten. I think it's the BC yarn that knits up at a wild gauge compared to the yarded. She'd originally used it for another project. Oh, that's not true. The other project recommended BC yarn, which knits up at a strange gauge. Or like not a strange gauge, but just like a different gauge to what I would expect. And she'd ripped that out, and I'm pretty sure it's a very clean line. She ran out of the yarn. She didn't have quite enough yarn to finish this, and I think that the rest of it was finished in Iona wool, which is a local to us, well, local to a Scottish yarn. And I'm pretty sure that the cuffs, yeah, I think so, but I wouldn't have noticed if I didn't know. The cuffs are knit in a slightly different yarn, which I think the camera will pick up better than my eyes do. Yeah. But I can't see that at all when it's being worn. Oh, it's so good. It's really, really good. I'm curious about this yarn. It's relatively rustic. I'm excited to, I get to block it. And like, yeah, I'm excited. I didn't do it yet because I wanted to make sure it was on the podcast. And she's done a split hem, which I never do. But Yenny loves when like things hit right on the waist. So it's got like a right on the waist split and then a split hem, which is going to be a fun thing to add. So there we go. I need to get this blocked. This is going in the blocking mats. Like as soon as I finish this this filming, this is getting blocked. And it's beautiful. And it will get given back to her. I promise. But I want it. No, it's just making me think that I need one as well, because it is really, really lovely. Like I say, I like it more than I thought I did. I've also not tried on this one, which I should have done, because why would I not try on random sweaters that come into my house? I'll try it on before I gift it to my stepdad. How about that? Okay. I have one more thing to talk. Well, I've got one more thing, and then I've got like I've got like book updates and stuff, fun things. So, the one other thing I'm working on is a sock. I knit approximately one pair of socks a year. Now there is a sock in the book, so I will knit more than one sock this year. The problem is that I'm just a bit fussy about my own hand knit socks, and I have like 4 pairs, and I like those 4 pairs, and I wear those 4 pairs, and I'm just like, I don't need any more. Which is a silly, one of them now has a hole in it, so like, but also I could just darn them. And I'm a relatively selfish knitter, and I always want garments. So I'm not very good at knitting socks. However, my stepdad loves knitted socks with passion and has had knitted socks I think maybe last Christmas I don't know if I gave him any last Christmas. I think I must have. But I ultimately knit him in one pair of, yeah, I definitely did. I knit him a pair last year. So I basically knit one pair of socks a year and they go to him. So this is the one I'm currently working on. It is this yarn, which I bought from Wool Warehouse. And it was this straight, it's called like Stroll, the colourway's called Stroll, and I've forgotten who the yarn dyer is, or like the make, it's commercial. It's quite fun. It's got quite fun striping. It's not my favourite ever striping, but I think it's quite fun. I think you'll like the colours. It's a little like sunset-y kind of vibes, I guess. And I hate turning heels. That's my issue actually. I don't mind knitting socks, and then like, yeah, I could just use a different heel. But I actually think that I get the best fit. It's also quite deep though, eh? It'll be fine. I think that I get the best fit from a turned heel, and it's actually not the heel part I dislike. I don't like all the decreases to decrease out the gusset. That's the bit that annoys me. It just takes so long. In my head I'm like 60 rows and 60 rows and a heel, but the heel part takes more than the 60 rows and the 60 rows. So there we go. So my plan is 20 rows a day of this, and then that'll be sock 1, and then sock 2 will get done. And then once this is done, I can cast on my vest, or probably my cardigan, although now I'm talking I can't decide what colour to make the cardigan in. So I think just white, but then will I wear it? Is it white? Off-white? Don't know. Okay, a little tiny book update then. I've been doing a lot of book work. The first 3 patterns have gone into testing, which is fun. It's exciting to be able to like finally talk about them a little bit with like that select group of testers. The way it will work is that there will be a test call for the book pretty much every month. I think that one was end of November. The next one is the same day that Insh comes out. They'll just all line up, and that will also be my first summer pattern we'll go into testing that day, which is terrifying. What do you mean I've got summer patterns going into testing in a month? In 3 weeks. It's more like a spring pattern. It's like April launch, but it is linen and cotton blend, and it is short sleeved or sleeveless, so it does feel like a summer pattern. So yeah, the book is all staggered. Like I said, 18 patterns, 12 garments, 6 accessories. I've got garments 1 to 3 done, finished, ready. Garment 4, pockets redone. Garment 5 is in this bag. No, it's actually I've got 2 here. There's a little sneak peek actually. You see a little sneak peek of one right there. I didn't do it on purpose, but the first batch that all went to testing are all drop shoulder. The second batch going to testing are almost all raglan. I think like 2 or 3 raglans. And then I've got the third ones to come. But my issue is that the ones that I was less sure about, like I knew that there was going to be a cable, and I had a few concepts of cables, but I didn't know what I was going to do. I like left them towards the latter half, so I had more time to think, and I've done no thinking. I would like to display when people say, "Oh, you're working on a book." What does that mean? That means trying to decide out of these different coloured yarns which one to knit a cable knit sweater in. These have been on my desk all week, just staring at me. I thought I wanted brown, but I don't think I want brown actually. And then of course, like if I want brown, what's brown? The middle brown. But I'm not going to do brown, I don't think, because I think if I'm going real classic fisherman's cable knit, it should be white. So these are my whites, or my off-whites. I think I'm going to go with this one. This is Antique Heather. This is Fog Hat. This is Natural. The Fog Hat is really nice, but I think the Fog Hat is too close to another pattern colour that I don't have in here. So I think it's going to be this. And yes, and then my plan is I've got to do the final bit of pattern writing this weekend. I will get them sent off. It was supposed to be done by today, but it did not happen by today. It will hopefully happen by the end of the weekend. And then I'm going to be kind of out of office. And by that I mean I've got no admin work to do. I will still be doing all my running my test knits, because test knits don't sleep. So I'll keep checking on test knits every day, but I will not be doing any other computer work until like January 5th or something. Sometime around then. Oh, I'm just realising I said I would get the final copies of these before. Okay, maybe not this weekend, maybe this weekend and a Monday. So yeah, I do feel like I'm like slowly but surely losing my mind whilst working on this book, but I'm also having a great time with it. It's been very fun. It's fun that like the ideas have been in my head for so long and now they're coming into fruition. And I think having that one project that's not a book project is keeping me relatively focused. There's something quite nice about that, knowing that I've got like space for one more thing. Otherwise, like I think it's all pretty motivating. I'm enjoying them all. I keep on working them all. I'm excited to cast on the next one and the next one and the next one. I think I have all my yarn. I mean, that's not true. I mean, I need to get the whole sweater quantity of this, so that's what I'm going with. I'll probably swatch it pretty soon. I've got a cone of yarn ordered. That's Bobby, and then I think I'm only waiting on. I need to pick a good orange. I'm undecided on an orange, so I need to find an orange yarn that I like. And that is it. I think I have so much more to say. And then life-wise, what's happened since the last podcast? Well, I went to the Netherlands. I had a great time. I studied in the Netherlands in Maastricht. And I have a group of... I went very Dutch when I was there. I joined a sorority. And my joining year of my sorority, everyone's still very good friends. So we had a weekend together, a lichtingsweekend. We went to Zeeland, which is in the north of the country, right on the coast. And we just, drank wine. Chilled out, chatted. We had a Taskmaster night, which was very fun. Caught up with everyone. That was really nice. Really, really enjoyed it. It was very like, filled my cup kind of thing. Felt good about that. Last week I was absolutely wiped out cold with the flu, which was miserable. I did not enjoy it at all. I had a rough time with it. I don't think I've been that sick since I got COVID, which was like 4 years ago. No, it's not 4 years ago. 3 years ago I got COVID, I think. Maybe it was 4 years ago. I think it was 4 years ago. Wow. Anyway, I think it was 4 years ago. Yeah, I've not been that since I got COVID. I literally couldn't even knit, which is how everyone around me knew that I was sick, because they knew I wasn't, kidding on or playing up, because I literally was just lying in bed doing nothing because I was too tired to knit. But I'm feeling recovered and back to normal now, which is good. And I'm excited for Christmas. The house is all decorated and I've just been enjoying like watching people's vlogmases and watching some Christmas movies, and yeah, it's been really nice. So I'm in a good time. I'm feeling like I'm just champing at the bit to be sort of finished. Just finish off my to-do list so that I feel like I can properly switch off for a few weeks. And yeah, like 2 whole weeks of no computer work would be pretty dreamy. So I'm going to get myself to there and then I'm going to enjoy the time off. I hope you have also got some fun things planned, whether you are celebrating any of the holidays coming up or not. I hope you're going to enjoy the time of year we're in, solstice too. oh, I'm so excited for start getting not being so dark. I wake up in the morning and it's dark, and I suddenly panicked when I started filming a bit later today, and I thought, oh, what if it gets dark? Was it going to be dark today at 3:38? An hour and a half from now it's going to be dark already. An hour and 20 minutes. So yes, that is all from me. Thank you for joining me. Thank you overall for joining me over the past year. It's been a pretty big one this year, with the book being finalised, with my first full year as a full-time knitwear designer. Some of my absolute favourite patterns came out this year. Yeah, it's been a real good year. So thank you all for being part of it. I'll put links to everything I mentioned down below if you're interested, and I'll be back in 2026 with the same old patterns galore. Until then, enjoy the rest of the year. Bye!